This is it. The biggest hour we've ever done. Welcome to the Summer of the Scam. Welcome to the Rogue Revolution. Welcome, my friends, to day 209 of Office Hours. That's right, beautiful people. It's Office Hours, the Five Nation check-in. That's where we go live over to the nearly 2 million subscribers over at youtube.com/scam school. The 1.7 million and climbing subscribers over at youtube.com/modern rogue. We go undercover with all them suits over at LinkedIn. That's just because we want to give speeches to save all of their businesses from robo-scammers. We go live over at x.com/wood with over 1 million followers, but ain't none of them matter. Ain't none of them the real ones. The real ones I'm about to introduce to you. That's right, I'm giving them preamble. Some might say it's because I forgot to load up the chat room. Those people would be, as I like to think of, technically right, which is, of course, the worst type of right. The best type of right is awesomely right. And that is who these fine folks are. That's right, the elite ones, the Diamond Club. You guys have seen it. You see this sigil back over here, the hidden meeting? I've been sneaking in the diamond all the way back on the TV show days. Sneaking in the secret hand signals. We got undercover agents flashing in on national television appearances. We had somebody being interviewed about the next new pope. Explained that there's a dichotomy of two things coming together. You think that was an accident? No, that was one of ours. Got him. All right, guys, we've got some beautiful biceps, some beefcake, some violation of terms of services, because we're going to show you guys maybe the biggest live magic show I've ever done. Coming up in a bit, though, we're going to see the coolest Cyberdeck build that we've seen yet. It is a gorgeous homespun little number that anybody can do. We're going to walk through why it's great. We're going to celebrate the channel. We're going to run on over, rate them, give them a whole bunch of subscribers. But first, we have to walk through the back catalog of Scam School episodes. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. We keep it alive with Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. And this is episode 106. Amazing live magic, fire eating, and sick stunts. That's right, we're going to watch the fire eating yet again. You won't believe how Houdini's history changed this next time. Spoiler, it didn't. Here we go. This episode of Scam School brought to you by Netflix and GoDaddy. My name is Brian Brushwood. I host a little show on the internet called Scam School. We call it the show about social engineering at the bar and on the street, which is a fancy way of saying using magic and trickery to screw your friends out of free beers. While we're on the subject of school, though, I thought we'd start off with a little bit of a history lesson in a subject I don't think most people know too much about. The subject, of course, is fire eating. Now, the concept of resistance to fire is one as old as history itself. As far back as the ancient Greek tragedy Medea, references are made to holding a bar of red-hot iron in one's hands to prove innocence or sincerity. The first written account of a fire eater, however, occurs in 1607, when Sir Henry Wotton wrote of an English sailor who could eat fire as though it were candy. With that in mind, I'm going to show you guys the simplest method to extinguish a torch with one's mouth. Thank you very much. You're actually applauding for that. Do me a favor, let's kill some of these lights so it looks better. It looks a little bit more impressive. More like this. There we go. Now, the first commercially successful fire-eating act went on tour during the 1680s. It was performed by a Frenchman known only by the name of Richardson. He was renowned not only for his ability to swallow flame, but also for the apparent affinity he would display for it. In fact, many people claim that his teeth and gums were so calloused he could actually hold a burning torch between them, just like so. At which point his audiences went freaking nuts. It was awesome. Much better. By the 1800s, we come to a time that some people call the golden age of fire eaters. All right, guys, for this next bit, I need somebody who will do absolutely anything. Who's my man? Let me, right there. What's your name, bud? Brian, get on up here. Let's hear it for this guy as he makes his way right up here on stage. Make some noise for him. As he comes over the OSHA-approved jumping over the stanchion. Get on up here. What was your name? Was it Ryan or Brian? Ryan?
Yeah.
Awesome. Get on over here, Ryan. Look, there's one thing we have not done in any live scam school until now. There's one point that we're going to cross. We're going to do a card trick. Now, I don't know about you, I hate card tricks, because every single card trick has 4 fundamental aspects to it. You have to have a card selected, identified, lost, and then found. So let's just get through this thing so we can get on to the good stuff. First of all, verify not a trick deck. Make sure everyone knows nothing tricky about it. Just, it is legit. Thank you. Ryan, reach forward, just touch the back of any one card. It doesn't matter which one. Go ahead and show the audience. Boom, 1 element down. We have had a card selected. Second of all, we have to have the card identified. And for that, there should be a Sharpie marker. That is gone. Hey, there we go. Here we go. You got one right here. Holy crap. You're the freaking wizard. What the hell is that? Do me a favor, buddy. I want you to nice and neatly print in the middle of your card. Neatness counts just your first name in the middle of that card. You got it? All right, and by all means, take your time. So we're 2 down. We've got a card selected. We have a card identified. Once you've printed your name on there, I want you to fold it in half with your signature on the inside. You got it? Excellent. Fold it in half again a second time. And now here's where things get interesting. We had a card selected. We had it identified. Now we need to lose the card. Traditionally, this is done by throwing the card somewhere back into the deck. We're going to be a little bit more esoteric here. Here's what we're going to do. You'll notice the card's already away. No opportunity for a switcheroo. We're just going to go ahead and heat this puppy up here. You can see some people think that this is like magic flames and it's not really burning, in which place I say, screw you. So it's clear. Now, the problem is your card's not gone. I mean, it's all burnt up and it's got ashes here, but we want to lose your card, and I mean lose. So we're going to chop up all these ashes just like it's like a goddamn cooking show up here. All right, we're just going to... There we go, and their ashes are there. I'm not doing any last-minute ashes switcheroo here. You can see that the ashes really are going inside the bowl. You see that, Ryan? Now we get to the most important part. Ryan, do you like chocolate pudding?
Hell yeah!
Well, good. I love this guy, dude. We're going to take the chocolate pudding. We're going to drop it right on your card. That looked lovely. I'm going to mix it up here. Do me a favor. I just want, just taste that. Just taste that. Just, how's it? Yeah, it tastes fine, right? Do me a favor, buddy. I want you to wolf that down as fast as you can. The faster you eat, the more they're going to cheer. Watch. We are in, oh, what a good boy. All right, we are in the home stretch. We have had a card selected, identified, and now lost. I think we could agree, Ryan, that it would be extremely difficult for me to retrieve your card. Ryan, do me a favor, buddy. I want you to lay down on this table with your head down at this end, your feet down at this end. Come around right up in front. There we go. Have a seat right here. Head over here. Head over here. If tail's over there, there you go. Go and lean. Make yourself comfortable. Yep. By all means, make it as awkward as you possibly can. There, put your feet right here, and your head goes there by default. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. There we go. Lay all the way down. We'll make a spot for you. I'm going to cover up. Go and lift up your shirt all the way up here, if you don't mind. There we go. Stop flexing for the ladies. Relax, relax. You see, you're not tickled. It's like, tickle. All right. I wasn't professional. All right, here's what I want you to do, bud. This is going to feel a little bit weird. It may pinch just a little bit. And I'm sorry, this water is cold, dude. I'm sorry. I know. Yeah, it's cold. This is going to feel a little bit weird. Just relax. Here we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right, hold on. Wait, no. Everything goes according to plan here. Here we go, and that's, I don't know what the hell that is. Let's get one of this. That's not good, and I think that actually goes there. All right, hold on, let me get this cleaned up here on this side, and there should be a little bit more. That's weird. How the hell did one of those get in there?
Wait, no. Ryan, if you look inside the balloon, there's actually something in there. Do you see something in there? Yeah. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to hold out your hand, palm up just like this. I want you to pinch just that tip right there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. You'll see there's no switcheroo. That's yours to keep. And then finally, once and for all, Ryan, what was the card that you picked earlier?
Ace of diamonds.
The ace of diamonds. Would you verify? Is that the ace of diamonds?
Yeah.
Second of all, would you look right there printed in the middle? Is that your name printed in the middle of the card? Yeah. Let's hear it for Ryan. He did a fantastic job. There we go. Let me get you all out of there, buddy. There we go. Don't worry, that'll come right out in the wash, hopefully. I'm pretty sure about it.
This week, we continue our graduate level course in crime and deception through the use of Netflix by checking out one of my favorite picks from the 1990s, The Last Seduction, made in 1994, stars Linda Fiorentino and Bill Pullman. Fiorentino plays
This is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen The Last Seduction, it is 10 out of 10. In fact, we should do a movie watch night. How many of you guys in the chat saw this movie? It is so unfathomably evil. It's incredible. Highly, Wendy Croy. Wow. That's a name I've not thought about in 10 years. By the way, if anybody's just joining us, you only missed one routine. We're watching the live stage show. Then we're getting on to the coolest Cyberdeck build that we've seen yet. And don't forget to place your bets over at guessattack.com. How many views do you think the original episode got? All right, here we go. Back to the show.
Here's the thing. Every time people ask me whether or not I believe in psychic powers, I always, the short answer is, of course, no, because I'm a rational human being. But it makes me think back to when I was a kid, and I wanted so bad not only to believe that psychic powers were real, but that I had them, so I'd make up all these tests to see if I had ESP. You know what I'm talking about. You're sitting at the kitchen table trying to guess what the next card is in a deck of playing cards, that kind of thing. And in the middle of doing all these tests, I had an experience. And while this experience didn't convince me that ESP was real, it did convince me that sometimes you just get lucky. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's turn that up. A little bit louder than that.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. People run in circles, it's a very, very mad enlarging your world. Mad.
All right, guys, we're gonna have, let me actually grab one of these right over here. Let me take you behind the scenes of something that you've heard about in magic for a hell of a long time. Do me a favor, let me get Brett Amtrak around Seville. Let's make some noise for my friend Brett here. Brett's gonna walk that thing out there. I want you guys to check out that bed of nails and make sure it's exactly what it seems. I want you to actually reach forward and touch those nails. I want you to see that they're not filed down, they're not made of rubber, they're not contoured to fit my back. I want you to appreciate that this pretty much hurts like hell. A lot of people wonder where the bed of nails came from. The bed of nails dates back over 2,000 years. It was established by East Indian Hindu fakirs who originally used it as a device to focus their skills of meditation and spirituality. It wasn't until the 1800s that it came to America and became the crowd-drawing ballyhoo we know it today. First of all, if you haven't taken a physics class, here's how the bed of nails work. You have enough nails, the weight of your body is spread out over the nails, so there's not enough pressure on any one nail to actually penetrate the skin. So as a result, it's very unlikely that you have very many bed of nails related fatalities. But there is a lot that can and does go very wrong. First of all, if the performer lays down too quickly on the bed of nails, or if too much weight is placed on him, he'll immediately be pierced, damaging internal organs and causing a bad day. By the way, amazingly, if you go to the emergency room with this type of wound, they'll basically put a Band-Aid over each of the holes, give you an antibiotic, and send you on your way. The bad thing happens when the performer's on the bed of nails and begins to panic and shift his weight foolishly. When he does, he ends up with a compound laceration, actually ripping the flesh off the back. In the short term, there's a tremendous amount of bleeding, and in the long term, there's no way around it. There's gonna be horrible, horrible scarring. So in other words, while it's very unlikely I will die doing the bed of nails, you could get to see some blood. You bastards are actually screaming for blood. All right, guys, at this point, I'm gonna have Brett actually walk out into the audience and pick a couple of volunteers. We're looking for a couple of ladies to help us up here on stage. And meanwhile, I'm going to prepare myself to face the bed of nails. Why is it always the dudes who cheer then? All right, guys, bed of nails. Regardless of whether it's performed as a religious ritual or as a sideshow stunt, there are a few key factors that are always the same. The first is the performer always takes a moment to center himself before getting on the bed of nails. The ancient fakir talked about going into a trance. That's a bunch of BS. What matters is that the performer take a moment to calm himself so he doesn't do anything stupid while he's in a position of very real danger. Next up, are you cheering for me calming down? Is that really what just happened? Next up, the performer centers his weight over the bed of nails, laying down first the covered extremities until finally his entire body is suspended on the bed of nails. Now, the ancient Hindu fakirs did not stop there, but rather subjected themselves to certain tests while they were in this state. To that extent, I've asked these two women to join me on stage because in just a moment, both of them are going to stand on me. All right, let's get both of you guys right over here. My name is Brian. What is your name? All right, let me get you right over here if you don't mind. One was on this side. There we go. That'll be just fine. Let me get you. And your name is? Shama. Okay, first of all, a couple of things. In just a moment, Bonnie, you're going to put your left foot right here on my chest. Not on my neck, on my chest. Your left foot is going to go right here on my midsection, all right? Your right foot or left foot is going to go slightly below the belt. And your right foot is going to go on my lap. Now try to distribute the weight evenly over both legs because otherwise it hurts like hell. All right. When you step up, you're not going to hop up, you're not going to bound up. Each of you keep a hand on Brett's shoulders. You're going to step up like you're stepping onto a log or a step, okay? Once you're on top of Brian, above all else, no bouncy, okay? In a moment, I'm going to excuse you to step back down. When you step down, this is the important part. Don't hop off. Don't leap back. I just want you to look where you're stepping. Make sure you're stepping on the stage, because if you step on the bed of nails, you will injure your feet. Do you understand? Do you understand? Are you ready to do this? You ready to do this? All right, get in position. Left feet first. Put them right up here. There we go. We're going to go on, and then, oh, wait, a little bit closer. And get your other feet all the way up here, touching right up here. There we go. Excellent. There we go. We're going to put this a little bit closer. That's my junk. There we go. All right, let me get you up a little bit closer here, Brett. Hold on. There we go. All right, ready? We're going to go on 3. Nice and slow. Take your time. 1, 2, 3. Nice and easy. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. You may applaud now. You can get off of me now. Take a nice big step back. Make sure you're stepping on a solid stage. Let's have a huge round of applause for both our volunteers. They did a great job. All right, now Brett's going to give you a hand. Get on up here. Here we go, right up here. 1, 2, 3, all the way up. Do me a favor, guys. Make some noise if you can see those divots on my back right now. A lot of people think those are puncture wounds. Those are actually not puncture wounds. The skin has phenomenal tensile strength. Those are actually parts of the skin that have been stretched so hard that it's actually left a temporary divot in my back. The amazing part is that those divots will stick around for as many as 6 or 7 hours after the show, and the red welts caused by the stress on the skin will stick around for as much as a day. So in other words, if after the show, while we're hanging out, and by the way, I hope I get to meet all you guys while we're hanging out, but if somebody walks up and says, hey, Brian, take off your, whoop. Hello? Oh, they say, hey, Brian, take off your shirt. It's cool. No, I mean, so you can see that, you can see, oh, no, not yet, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, by now you know the game.
So, man, that routine, the bed of nails routine is better than it should be. Like, that ability to keep the process going so intensely that there's never a break. You're always getting an information download, and a big part of that routining is the unrelenting precision of the script on it. And when it gets to that moment, you're tense, of course, and you're tense for a lot of different reasons. It's both because of the effect and also because you're aware that there's real danger if the people don't follow the rules correctly. And without realizing how tense you are, there's that moment where it's like process, and then the words, you may applaud now. It's like a tidal wave that comes out. And then the other misdirect is like, you can get off of me now. And then it's like, oh, that's right. We're in the middle of a dangerous situation and everyone's forgotten. And then finally, the third beat is, oh, here we go.
Set some freaking world records tonight. Let me bring on my co-host from NSFW on the Twit Network, Mr. Justin Robert Young. Show him some love, people. We're going to bring on stage our favorite world record authority, the gentleman from the Universal Records database, headed up by Mr. Dan Roman. Let's make some noise for all these guys. Get on up here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break tonight three world records. The first one, what did you come up with? What did you like?
All right, here's what we're doing, folks. Everybody here is having a great time, right? And therefore, by proxy, everyone who's not here is miserable.
Yes!
We're going to make it even worse. Everybody, take out your cell phones, and you're going to Twitter out a hoax.
We're going to lie to the entire world. And we are going to do the world's largest online Twitter hoax at a live event.
Yes!
So here's the deal. Nobody here knows what's going on. Although, except for some jerks live streaming it, Leo.
Hi!
But here's what we're going to do. We're going to lie to the rest of the world and tell them that we just confirmed live on stage that Conan O'Brien is joining Revision 3.
Now, here's the key. For us to track it, you have to hashtag OMG Conan.
OMG Conan, right? So you can say, holy crap, Conan just walked on stage. He's joining Revision 3. Hashtag
OMG Conan.
Or you could say, hey, just confirmed, I just met Andy Richter because Conan's coming to Revision 3. Hashtag
OMG Conan.
All right, so start doing that right now. I can't wait to watch the fallout on this. We'll get the actual numbers for this.
There we go. Now, while we're doing the other record, let's talk a little bit about the Universal Records database. Dan Roman.
Dan Roman, ladies and gentlemen.
How's it going, everybody?
Woo! All right, so what the hell is the Universal Records database?
We are world record aficionados. We love world records, and we saw the world record world was really owned by an exclusive group. And we said, why shouldn't world records be available for everybody? So we've built this website, URDB, and it allows everybody to set whatever world record they want.
Yeah, literally, this is the Wikipedia of world records. If you want to invent a non-existing world record, what do? You just fill out a form and you're on, right?
Yeah, basically, our belief is everyone on Earth can be the world's best at something. So as long as your record category is quantifiable and breakable, you just shoot it on video, your friend can be your witness, and you upload it to our site.
Awesome. Okay, second of all, we're actually going to have a contest, a race between two people. Also need two Psycho fans who are willing to do anything. Who are my people? Let me get you. And then you, yeah, both of you guys. Give these guys a big round of applause as they make it up here on stage. Head on over here, buddy. How's it going? I'm Brian. What's your name?
Peter.
Peter, actually, right on over here.
Hey, by the way, I just checked Twitter. It's blown up.
Is it really? That's awesome.
Blown up.
All right, what are we gonna do? This is your demonic idea, is it not?
Here we go, folks. We are going to set the record for the fastest time someone has cleaned their own hands of barbecue sauce using only their mouth.
Now, here's the criteria, all right? By the way, can we get a shot of this lovely, lovely barbecue sauce? Here's the deal. It's got to be clean enough that either me or Dan Roman feels comfortable shaking your hand for victory, all right? All right. Now, by the way, here's the thing. The only stipulation is you get one wet nap, or do you? You don't get a wet nap?
No wet naps.
No.
Bare knuckled.
All right, so here's the good. We're gonna say ready, set, go. Whoever is all the way ready and wants to present their hand, whoever's fastest, Dan, you're gonna be timing, and then we'll have a world record,
and
right?
Now, by the way, we have spotters here from the Universal Records database. They're gonna be here monitoring. Me and Brett are gonna be your coaches, so we'll guide you along.
Yeah,
so
guiding you means shouting at you the entire time.
Hands in, everybody. Both hands.
Both hands, all the way in.
Clean this shit up.
Yes.
Yes. All right, there we go. All right.
So
Yeah, hands all the way in.
submerge.
Hands all the way in.
There.
Okay. Wait. On your marks. Are you giving me on your mark? Get set.
Okay, here we go. You guys ready? The hands are covered. On your marks, get set, go.
Out. All right, come on. Yeah, there we go. Wipe it off. Now get the fingers. Quick. There we go, buddy. You're the champ. No one ever tell you different. Go. Fingers. All right, I'm wiping the pants.
20 seconds. We're at 20 seconds. They're wiping it on the table.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, check his hand.
Whoa. You don't mess with a star like that. Come on.
Check his hand.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes! We have a winner.
Oh, yeah, we're calling it? What was the time? 37.06, a new world record. We got one more, and then we're gonna be out. First of all, thanks so much to the URDB. By the way, everyone who breaks a world record at the URDB gets sent one of these bomb-ass patches. I'm still looking for my Pitfall patch back from '82. That's awesome. All right, yeah, you guys are done. Get the hell out of here. Good job. No, I'm done. All right, no, that's good. All right. All right, now what are we doing this last one?
All right. You guys might have heard of a show called Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Have you heard of it? Whatever. These guys have gone on that show, and Jimmy Fallon broke a record. He set a record for most drawn-on marker mustaches. In 30 seconds. What we're gonna do is have our own Revision 3's Brian Brushwood break that record.
What is the current record, by the way? 16. So I got to do 17 in 30 seconds, right? All right, here's the thing. If you're in the front row,
get ready.
All right, I'm going to go right down the line.
If you don't want a mustache,
if you don't want to be
step
a
up
piece
for a
of freaking
second.
history,
Yeah.
you get ready. All right? Somebody give me a ready, set. All right, you got to tell me when. All right. Ready?
Wait, ready? Calm down. Okay, are you ready, Brian?
Yes, I am.
Are we ready for it to be mustache in the front? All right, on your marks, get set, go. Seconds. Keep going.
There we go. There we go. Give me. There we go. How many are we at?
7, 28, 29. Stop.
Oh, wait. I already got you. Is that it?
Last one.
What is it?
Orange guy was the last.
What's the final count?
23, a new world record. You beat Fallon.
Hey guys, I can't thank you enough. I'm Brian Brushwood. Let's hear from the URDB. I love you guys.
That was a lot. That was a lot. So here's the question, beautiful people. How much was it? How many people saw that? How much of that lives in the hearts and minds? How much mental real estate did we capture during that incredible 28 minutes? How long? 27 minutes, 40 seconds on there. That was a lot, man. We got upbeats with the fire eating show. We got downbeats with the knife trick. We got tension beats. We went and explored a whole new world. In fact, we should check in and see how long. We'll ask a robot. Why not? Tell me about the OMG Conan hoax at Revision 3. How many people did it fool? I heard it set a world record. Sure. We'll see what it says. This is niche internet history stuff, and world record claims tend to mutate over time. All right, here we go. G. James B's coming in low. Banterat is going low, as the live ones usually don't do well usually. That's fair enough. Yeah, live show. By the way, here's where you guys want to go. You want to go to GOESSATTACK.com. There we go. Koro Metariku coming in with 420,069. Sine Wave with 1.5 million. Flying Car 100 with 5,280. BioCow with 2,468,135. Oh yeah, it's Adam with 450,000. Johnny Boz in the chat with 34,000. Charles Rubach with 38,499. James Colball with 250,153. Hawk Worley, ever consistent, ever the optimist with 1.2 million even. Argyle Gargoyle with 776,000. Earth 56 with 65,256. Banterat with 169,000. G. James B with 1,500,365. ATL John Boy with an even cool 1 million. Kian Lafford, all the way from Ireland, with 453,268. And Muslix with 428,211. And the actual number of views on this amazing live magic show, Fire Eating and Sick Stunts, is, wait for it. Whoa! 859,824. I did not see that coming. That's incredible. So where does that put us? That means, let's see, we'll get that locked in. And then we're going to see, I guess I have to do guesses closed. Okay, there we go. Sign got it. Unless, nope. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. I'm going to hit refresh. There we go. First place goes to Argyle Gargoyle with 776,000, only off by 83,824. ATL John Boy, second place with 1 million, only off by 140,000. Hawk Worley got a bronze medal with 1.2 million. Congratulations. That is fantastic, man. Let's see what okay, here we go. The OMG Conan hoax was the South by Southwest era Revision 3 Dignation prank in March 2010. At the live Dignation taping at Stubbs Barbecue, the crowd was primed after your it knows who's asking. Scam School Fire Eating opening act. Rev 3 co-founder David Prager led an organized prank, okay, and you're also credited in a South by Southwest video roundup as initiating the hoax to get the audience to blast Twitter with the claim that Conan O'Brien was joining Revision 3. Oh, look at that. Look at this. We have a news story about the event. Yeah, that was a crazy time. Let's see. A couple of context. Hard number I can verify. 426 tweets from the crowd. And I don't see a reliable documented count of number of people fooled. We did have a separate world record episode. Yep. Not a verified world record. It was verified by the only ones that matter. The URDB, beautiful people. Uh-oh. Did we lose some of the chats? Let's see if we lost the Mono Road chat. Let's activate this. We'll do test. Ah, look at that. We're only hitting 3 of the folks. Oh, no. Yeah, it looks like we dropped Mono Road on the chat. I'm not entirely sure how to get them back in there. Maybe I can activate, deactivate, refresh, something. Who knows? Let's move on to this badass Cyberdeck. You guys can, well, here, let me check this. Test. Let's see, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So Restream has them all. Okay, it says it's coming through now. All right, guys, let's check out this incredible Cyberdeck. I made the claim that it is the coolest one that we've seen yet, which I agree. I do. I want to start ranking and rating Cyberdecks. And in this case, shouts out to the channel Exercising Ingenuity. Here, let me give you, all you guys, this video link. Run on over, throw them a subscribe. But take a look at this. It's a joyful little Zen moment.
Many people have. Over the years, Altoid tins have been repurposed for a wide range of things, from sewing kits and survival kits to handheld gaming systems and audio amps. But have you ever looked at a tin of Altoids and thought, that looks like a tiny computer? It is common in the Cyberdeck community to use robust containers like Pelican cases and ammo boxes to make cool looking Cyberdecks. Altoid tins tick a lot of boxes here. They are robust enclosures, nondescript, and DIY friendly. If maybe a tad small. So I wanted to take an Altoids tin and make it into a fully fledged Cyberdeck. With a mechanical keyboard, display, and some external inputs and outputs. But I had to figure out how to fit all of that inside an Altoids tin.
I do love the physical mock-up on all of this. This is some good iteration that that I would do well to learn from, because this 0 to 1 prototype does give you enough of a sense of what you're looking at. He draws in 3 USB ports on there. I don't think he ends up with 3, but it gives you a good sense of like, what's it going to feel like? What's it going to use? This is also why, like automotive manufacturers, they prototype, they carve the vehicle out of clay to begin with.
For the CPU, I would use a Raspberry Pi Zero. I bought these used a few years ago, so the first thing I did was make sure they work. I also had this old 2-inch LCD that I didn't use for another project. Getting the LCD to work took a little bit longer than expected, as it uses an SPI interface and I had to use a legacy version of the Raspberry Pi OS, as well as make some changes to the Raspberry Pi config. I wanted my Cyberdeck to be self-powered, so I ordered a UPS hat for the 0W and got that working. Though I did discover some shoddy soldering along the way. So what I've done here is just put a jumper from ground on pin 6 to ground on pin 9, and that got everything working.
So I'm going to assume that there's some contact. I assume that something was bridged and that was the workaround to prevent it.
Now that everything was functioning, what I really needed was a smaller keyboard.
Now this solution I thought was interesting.
I wanted to build this keyboard myself, but I had no idea how to construct a keyboard. So I purchased this pocket type kit from Mechboards. This was a really fun little project, and I got to learn how diode matrix keyboards work. A diode matrix is a grid of buttons connected in rows and columns, with diodes for each button. The diodes generally sit between the button and the row. By connecting each row and each column to an input on the microcontroller, you can easily distinguish when a particular button is pressed.
So think about that. So he's got different diodes for each column and row, so it makes a grid. And then basically when he presses one button, it activates both row E and row 2. And then he has to map individually each one of these to the keystroke.
This means that you can use many more buttons than your controller has inputs. Building the Pocket Type was the perfect segue for thinking about how to build an even smaller keyboard. Because at the end of the day, this keyboard was going to have to be pretty tiny to fit inside the Altoids tin. So I soldered together a little test PCB with 4 buttons and a simple diode matrix. I bought an RP2040 to use as the microcontroller, and I decided to use KMK for the keyboard firmware. KMK is a beginner-friendly firmware powered by Python, which makes it simple to program the diode matrix. Then it was time to build something sized perfectly for the Altoids.
I love the hard cuts to the color B-roll that he got. It just brings us into his world. It's so great.
I built the entire thing on a cheap proto board. Maybe next time I'll have to teach myself PCB design. But in all honesty, this was a really enjoyable part of the project, and I was very satisfied with how the keyboard turned out. Once I had it assembled, I programmed it with KMK and checked that it worked. The exact key map I will include on my GitHub or on hackaday.io.
That is a deeply satisfying look to it. Like, watching as a viewer, you can just imagine how delightfully flat and well positioned everything is on there.
Even though I now had a nice little keyboard, it was still going to be a real trick getting it all to fit inside the Altoids container. To make things a little bit easier, I purchased a smaller battery. This gave just a little bit extra room. I also slimmed things down by removing some of the components and soldering the UPS board and the display connector directly to the Raspberry Pi. However, there were even more features I wanted to add, like a 15-pin breakout for some of the Raspberry Pi's GPIO pins, and a USB hub so I could connect both the keyboard and have an external USB port. To hold all of this inside the Altoids container, I went through a lot of...
This is amazing storytelling right here, because just when you got a sense of kind of how everything's all laid out, this moment where it's the equivalent of, if you've ever seen Bob Ross do his painting, where it's like you get the shape of everything and then he just pulls out like black with a little bit of brown and he just mars, just scars right down the middle of the painting. You're like, what have you done? And then, of course, it ends up being a tree and it looks freaking great or whatever. That's the equivalent. Like, we've built up a mental model of everything that's happened up until this point of the video, and then he breaks all the rules with a puzzle. And the moment all of this shows up, it's like, what is even this? And of course, then you get the deeply satisfying realization that it's like, oh, these are also prototypes for a different aspect.
All of this inside the Altoids container. I went through a lot of design iterations.
And he resisted the urge to go forward in time, the correct direction, and instead jumps here, lets you have to go back.
In the end, I went with a flexible 3D printed frame that bent so I could fit it inside the Altoids tin. The frame was then locked in place when the front panel was installed. I also added a thermal pad so that the Raspberry Pi could dissipate heat out the back of the tin.
I love it. Bob called it a bravery test.
Getting everything in there was a real game of Tetris. And despite everything I'd done, it didn't quite fit. I still went ahead with sizing the cable for the keyboard. And with a little bit of super glue and baking soda, I added some nuts to mount the keyboard to the Altoids tin lid. In the end, in order to make things fit, I ended up removing the connector on the display and soldering the wires directly to the LCD board. This freed up just enough room to get the front panel on.
So, and then you could also see the prototype. Originally, we had those 3 different USB slots, but he scaled it down to 1. I also love the fact that that didn't make the cut, that in interest of hitting that kind of perfect sweet spot 10-minute mark,
there still wasn't quite enough room to shut the tin, so I used some pieces from another Altoids.
that is also at what, the 2/3 mark. We're almost done completing the loop, but we just need a little something. This is in the hero's journey, the all is lost moment, where we're like, we're still not quite there.
tin and soldered them in place to extend the hinges. This gave just enough room to shut the tin. Then it was on to some finishing touches. On the side of the tin, I engraved labels for the GPIO pins, as well as labels for the charging port and the USB port. I had a little bit of paint left over from my Tommy B build, so I painted the faceplate beige, like a vintage desktop. After I extended the hinges, it meant the tin no longer stayed closed, so I bent the lip of the tin just a little bit, which provided enough friction for the tin to snap shut. With that, the Cyberdeck was done.
Oh, that color, so great. And then we get the victory lap. You know what? I'm not even going to show the victory lap on here because I want you to go watch his video
Just
and
shut
give him
the
a
tin.
subscribe. That is a curiously minty Cyberdeck. Go, put good vibes on his comments here. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll post. There we go. We'll post this in the chat. We can give him a little compliment bomb. Boom. Yeah, that's great. That was a good one. I love the fact that, for example, one of my favorite little touches that seemed almost kind of bonkers silly was when he went and etched in all of the labels for the pinouts on there, and also bothering to put the to hand paint the individual keys on the keyboard. All of it just delightfully homespun. It's great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. So meanwhile, I guess we got, I don't know if we have time. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time for a little bit of news. So I'm going to head on over to officehours.themodernroad.com. Don't forget, if you got to, oh my God, look at this doc. Look at this doc. Ladies and gentlemen, sign. Cub Reporter sign. Just upped our game. Hot damn. The elite ones. Diamond Club for the win. All right, so what do we got here? You guys can pick from the menu. There is the healthiest users of AI might just be the Amish. There's scientists who turned silkworm silk into a near Kevlar super material. I've always heard that that's the case. Chuck Tingle is finally writing about something that's not getting pounded in the butt, zombies. But they're probably going to get pounded in the butt. Yep. AI bros cross ethical boundaries and recreate the last moments of a fatal plane crash here. We'll keep this one real short because I do think this is interesting. So, look, when you have a large enough collection of humans, you're going to get every sort of behavior that is possible somebody's going to do. And this story from the NTSB, there was a fatal crash where they published a PDF. Now, as a matter of policy, the NTSB does not include audio from the black box recording because it's repugnant, and those are actual people panicked and dying. But in this case, they had, I believe it was a PDF. Yeah, here we go. They included a transcript of the black box recording and a PDF file which included a spectrogram, a visual representation of the audio that was on there. And of course, essentially, it's a high enough resolution photo of essentially the grooves on a record. That would be a great Modern Rogue episode. Not this horrific thing, but to take a photograph of an LP. Hold on, let me text that to someone. There are two things. Let's see. What if we did an episode where we photographed a record groove and saw if we could recreate the audio from it? Alternately, could we take that audio and then 3D print another groove that made it singing tape? There you go. Now I have at least some kind of record of that. It's the audio equivalent of a photo of a key being used to recreate the physical key. Yeah, that's exactly right. Laser scanned a record to be exact is what BioCow had seen before. The NTSB is aware that advances in image recognition and computational methods have enabled individuals to reconstruct approximations of cockpit voice recorder audio from sound spectrum imagery released as part of NTSB investigations, including the ongoing investigation of the crash. The NTSB docket system is temporarily unavailable because y'all creeped us out. Internet, why you gotta be this way? While the technology to turn spectrograms back into audio has existed for a while now, AI has made it much easier for anybody. This is what Perry Carpenter talked about on the episode where we did deepfakes and stuff. He talked about the difference between state actor level of technology, where if you have the resources and you could afford to pay army technicians, you could do a lot of crazy stuff, versus high-end enterprise level equipment where, you know, if you can pay for a bunch of engineers to man it, then you could do it. And then eventually technology gets to what he calls folk grade level, where you're just an average Joe and you just have time to dedicate to it. And so that's that is where we're headed. They're going to determine how horrible randos on the internet are likely to be in the face of tragic accidents. Yep. How much information can they legally not provide? Well, that's what we're all going to be figuring out. And of course, the real answer is just don't make it easy, because that's the difficult thing. Is if somebody wants to be gross, they want to be gross to the extent they can get away with doing it easily. But if it's less easy, then they're going to be less interested and go find a easier target. So sign, how do we mark this one as done? This, where do we go? AI bros, blah, 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 blah. Well, here, yeah, I just checked it. This is phenomenal. Well, I don't know how to move this on, but I believe you guys will figure it out. And in the meantime, you know what that means? That means that is about it. So here I get to refresh, reload this page right here, and I get to say to you guys, thank you very much, because this has been Office Hours. Office Hours is brought to you by gentlemen, warriors, and scoundrels like you. Special thanks to Kuro Metariku. Oh yeah, it's Adam. Sinewave. Banterat. Earth 56. Dan Homesteader. BioCow. G. James B. Jonathan Hazlitt. James Cobalt. ATL John Boy. Max Trollbot. Kian Lafford. Joey H666. Robert Williams. Not even good at Andresino Belarus McEwen 5000. Dylan Theus. Ultimate Sacrifice. and you beautiful people. All right, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good game, y'all.